It was supposed to be just another business trip, a routine she knew by heart. The rain was falling in thin, silvery lines when Emily arrived at the old seaside hotel in Brighton. She'd stayed there before the familiar red brick walls, the scent of salt and lavender in the lobby, the quiet murmur of waves beyond the windows. Everything was the same, yet that night felt different. Maybe it was the storm brewing over the sea, or maybe it was destiny. At the reception desk stood a new face, a woman with dark hair tucked neatly behind one ear, her eyes as calm and deep as the sea itself. Her name tag read Sophia. Emily found herself hesitating for just a moment longer than usual before speaking. "Checking in, Emily Ross," she said, her voice softer than she intended. Sophia's smile was gentle, professional, but there was something else behind it, something curious, almost like recognition. "Welcome back, Miss Ross," she said. "Room 314, facing the ocean. I hope the sound of the waves doesn't keep you up." Emily laughed quietly. "I could listen to them forever." Their hands brushed for a fleeting second when Sophia handed over the key card. It was a tiny spark, gone as soon as it came. But neither of them forgot it. That evening, the storm grew fiercer. Thunder rolled like a steady heartbeat against the windows, and the city lights flickered in the distance. Emily was alone in her room, trying to focus on her presentation, but her thoughts kept drifting back to the woman at the front desk. Something about Sophia's quiet grace, her calm presence, had stayed with her, a mystery she couldn't unravel. Then, a knock broke the silence. When she opened the door, Sophia stood there holding a tray. "The kitchen's closed early because of the storm," she explained, her voice low. "But I thought you might like some tea." Emily blinked, surprised but deeply grateful. "You read my mind," she said, stepping aside to let her in. The two women sat by the window, sipping steaming cups of chamomile while the storm raged outside. Their conversation started small: travel, work, the unpredictable weather, but soon, it deepened into something more. Emily found herself speaking about the profound loneliness of business trips, the way hotels could feel both comforting and hollow. Sophia listened quietly, her eyes reflecting the lightning flashes outside. Then she said something that would stay with Emily forever. "Hotels are full of ghosts, not the scary kind, but memories. People come and go, but their emotions, their stories, they stay in the walls." Emily smiled, captivated. "And what about you? Are you one of the ghosts?" Sophia hesitated for a moment, a thoughtful look on her face. "Maybe," she whispered. "Or maybe I'm just waiting to become one." Hours slipped away unnoticed. The tea grew cold, but the connection between them only warmed. The air, once filled with polite conversation, was now electric with unspoken feelings. When Sophia finally stood to leave, Emily's hand instinctively brushed her wrist, a silent plea for her to stay. Neither spoke, but the silence said everything words couldn't. The world outside roared, but in that small, quiet room, time seemed to stop. Sophia leaned in first, her breath trembling against Emily's cheek before their lips met. It was soft, hesitant, and yet filled with all the emotions they had been afraid to name. It wasn't a wild, passionate kiss. It was fragile, tender, like something sacred. In that single moment, both of them knew what it meant and what it could cost them. The next morning, sunlight poured through the curtains. The storm had passed, leaving behind a calm, glistening ocean and a sky painted in shades of gold and rose. Emily woke to find Sophia sitting by the window, her uniform folded neatly beside her. She looked different in the morning light, free, but shadowed with uncertainty. "I shouldn't have stayed," Sophia said quietly, her voice barely a whisper. "If anyone finds out." Emily reached for her hand, her touch gentle. "No one has to know." But deep down, they both knew the truth. In a small town like Brighton, secrets rarely stay buried for long. By noon, the whispers had already begun, an icy glance from the housekeeper, the manager's subtle, probing questions. The pressure mounted quickly. Sophia resigned that very day. She didn't look back as she walked out of the lobby, leaving Emily's heart breaking in a way she never knew was possible. Months later, Emily returned to Brighton. The hotel had changed: new staff, new decor, a different energy entirely. But when she checked into room 314, she found something hidden in the nightstand drawer. It was a folded napkin, and on it, a note written in neat, careful handwriting. "Maybe in another life, the world will be kinder to us. S." Tears blurred Emily's vision as she held the note close to her heart. She walked out onto the balcony, watching the sea roll endlessly toward the horizon, just as it had on that stormy night. In that moment, she realized something profound. Love, no matter how brief or forbidden, leaves an indelible mark. It isn't found in scandal or regret, but in the quiet, certain knowledge that for one brief moment, two souls truly found each other against all odds. The waves kept whispering, as if carrying Sophia's voice on the wind, and Emily smiled through her tears, knowing she would never forget the woman who changed everything in a single, stormy night at the hotel. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of love, loss, and everything in between. See you next time.